Alright, what's up guys, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Now it's been a while since the last PSA return actually. I did send a few small subs in between whenever I made that last video and now. But they were just like 2 or 3 cards. There was nothing too crazy, so I didn't bother making a video. But today we are back with a solid, I think it's 22, 23 card PSA return. These are sent with the economy service, so this is the $50 tier. And these were limited to 20 cards per sub until recently. So I sent this in 2 different batches, but they both came back at the same time since I sent them out at the same time. So yeah, let's jump right into it. First card is a Wavy Unlimited Dark Magician. Very, very clean card. Just pretty much off-center top to bottom. Aside from that, it's pretty close to pack fresh. I was hoping for a 9 on this, and sadly we got an 8, which... like, I can understand it because the centering is quite off. But considering the card has just no whitening whatsoever, nothing on the surface, I thought it could get a 9. So I probably will resub this because I'm going for that PSA 9 Wavy Trio. I have the red eyes already and I have the blue eyes being graded. So really hoping I can put the 9 set together. Then we still have some more Wavy Unlimited LOB. Next up is a Trihorn Dragon. I thought this was a pretty easy 10. This was a BGS 9.5. It had a 9 on surface, which, in my opinion, was just unfair. So I figured I may as well cross it to a PSA 10. And we actually got a 9 on it. So this one, to be honest, is more disappointing than the Dark Magician even. Because I thought for sure this was a gem. I don't really see anything that's wrong with the card. So again, another one I'll have to resub. Which is a shame because it's not that high value. A Wavy Unlimited Dark Magician, that's easily worth subbing a few times till you get the grade you want. Trihorn Dragon, it's the most common Wavy Unlimited holo, so it's not that worthwhile necessarily regrading. But considering I do think this should get a 10, I will try it one more time. Then next up we have the nicest Wavy card I sent, which is a Wavy Unlimited Monster Reborn. This one I previously sent, I think it's already been in a return video on the channel. It got a 9, and again I thought this was a great regrade candidate for a 10. Doesn't really have any kind of wear on the back or anything. So the centering is great as well. So yeah, I was definitely hoping for a 10 on this, and we did get the gem in 10. So this is very cool. I was expecting this to be a pop 1 when I graded it because I hadn't seen another one, but I saw a guy on Instagram, Old School Canadian, if you guys know him, he graded one recently. So there are 2 out there at least, but still a very rare card. Very happy to add that one to the collection. Next up, we're on to some Glossy Unlimited LOB. This is a Red Eyes Black Dragon. This card isn't in great shape. It has nice eye peel from the front, and I mostly sent it because I had the Blue Eyes and the Dark Magician already in a high grade. So it was just nice to have a slabbed sort of set of the 3 of them. I was expecting either a 7 or an 8 on this. The front is good enough for a 9, but the back has like a decent amount of just whitening around the edges and some light wear on the surface and things like that. So yeah, the grade to me wasn't too important on this. I was hoping for an 8, and we just got the near mint 7, which it's pretty strong for a 7, but I do think it's a fair enough grade. So yeah, not going to bother cracking or resubbing that one or anything like that. And I've actually picked up since then a higher grade copy, which I'm going to be getting in the mail soon. So to be honest, if anyone wants that Red Eyes, I would probably be willing to sell it. Next up is a Garnisia Elefantes. Probably my least favorite MRD holo, or at least near the bottom, but it's still worth subbing any MRD first set stuff that can get a gem. This one I previously subbed to Beckett because I thought it could get a pristine. If you guys saw that return video, I think it got like a weak 9. Which was a complete joke. So I cracked it, sent it to PSA, and it did get the 10. Which, I'm not sure how much that's worth. I assume like maybe 300, 400 bucks. But yeah, probably one that I'll keep. Then there was another one which, again, I thought was like pristine quality. Sent to Beckett, got a 9. This Harpy Sisters. I cracked it, sent to PSA. I thought this would get a 10 for sure. And we actually got a 9. So not a great start to the submission. I have no idea why this got a 9. Like, truly, I think this should be a BGS 10. So getting a PSA 9 is pretty rough, but there you go. That is PSA for you. You kind of have to accept that you're going to get a lot of grades that are not what they should be. And just, content yourself with the ones which do get better scores. So yeah, next up is a Destiny board. Now this one is the third time I've subbed this. I thought it would get a 9.5 originally, sent it to Beckett, got a 9. Cracked it, sent to PSA to see if it could get a 10. It got a 9. And to be honest, normally I wouldn't bother sending it again at that point. But Destiny board is a card that I really like, and I just thought it was a great copy. It's got great centering, doesn't have any whitening. Yeah, I really thought it could get a gem. So I decided to try it one more time. If this wasn't a 10, I was just going to keep it, whatever it got. But we actually got the gem in 10, so that's awesome. One of my favorite ultras from Labyrinth of Nightmare for sure. Then another LON ultra, we got a Mask of Restrict. This one had a chance for a 10, but it is a bit off center top to bottom. Had a little bit of white at the top on the back, which is very common for LON, just from the way it's cut. So I knew it was kind of like a 50-50 scenario. It could get a 9, could get a 10. I'd be fine with it either way. And we did just get the 9. So yeah, still a mint ultra from LON. And of course a cover card as well, so can't go too wrong with that. Next up, this is a super rare from Labyrinth of Nightmare. This is another one of those cards that I just can't get to to grade how I want it to. Again, I sent this to BGS initially thinking you could get a 10, and it got a 9, which is a long way below a 10 if you're on the BGS scale. Cracked it, now I've sent it to PSA, and it's got a 9 as well. So I truly have no idea why this got a 9. It's perfectly centered on both sides. Zero whitening anywhere, zero scratching anywhere. Super, super clean card. So yeah. It is disappointing to see these kinds of grades, especially on these lower end cards where it's not really worth resubbing it lots of times to get a 10. So I'm not sure on this one. I do like Revival Jam, so I might try it one more time, but it's pretty borderline with the value. We got another LON card. This is a United We Stand. I sent the Mage Power as well together in this sub. I was hoping they might get matching 10s, but I knew the United was a bit off center and had like 1 or 2 little factory issues on the back. So it got a 9, and I'm okay with that. The Mage Power, on the other hand, this was very clean. I thought this should get a 10 for sure, and it did. So it's a shame that they don't match with the consecutive certs having the same grade. But at the end of the day, I still got a gem on the Mage Power, so I'll take it. Next up, one of my favorite cards, well, maybe not one of my favorite cards from old school Yu-Gi-Oh, but definitely my favorite card from Pharaonic Guardian, along with Ring of Destruction, is Donzelloug. This one, when I got it, I thought it had a good chance for a gem, so I was pretty excited to sub it. I don't think it has a crazy amount of value, maybe a few $100 as a 10. So honestly, I was unsure if it was even worth sending for $50 because a 9 really wouldn't be worth that much. But I went ahead and sent it just because I liked the card. I thought it would be awesome to own as a 10. And we got it. We got the gem in 10. So very nice. I would say the submission definitely got a bit better as I kind of went along through the grades. The first ones are pretty rough, but as we're going through it, the 10 ratio is definitely going up a bit. This was another one I cracked from BGS. This was actually a 9.5, but it had a 9 on surface, even though it was completely clean. Now I knew when cracking it, the centering is a bit tilted like it usually is with MFC. In my opinion, it's definitely not too bad to get a PSA 10. But I knew that there was always going to be that risk that it would get a 9. And sadly, that's what it got. We didn't manage the gem on this. This one I will crack because a 9 is worth a lot less than a 10. And again, like even though the centering isn't perfect, this is for sure in the range where if you get a nicer grader, they'll let it through for a gem, especially when the rest of the card is flawless. So this is the final classic holo I sent. This is DCR, Skull Archfiend of Lightning. I had a Quad Plus 9.5 of this, which I sold when I got this copy because I thought this would gem for sure. Again, very, very clean. No whitening on either side. Nothing really wrong with the surface anywhere. So I was expecting a 10 on this. We did just get a 9. So yeah, again, a bit of a shame. Quite a few cards I have to resub from this submission, which it always feels bad these days when it costs so much to resub a card. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I said earlier, the good grades always pay for the less good grades with PSA. So even when you get a lot of disappointing things, a lot of things where you're kind of annoyed you have to resub them, in the bigger picture, you're always quids in basically if you keep sending to them, as long as you pick the right cards, of course. So next up, we got some promos. Here's a Millennium Shield. Already have a Quad Plus 9.5 set of MP1, so this is just something I was going to sell whatever it got. We actually got a Gem Mint 10, which, to be honest, I wasn't necessarily expecting. The card's pretty nice. I don't know, from what I remember, it maybe had one or two little bits of whitening somewhere, something like that. So the 10 was kind of surprising, but to be honest, very refreshing, given that we didn't get 10s on a lot of the stuff I was expecting 10s. This kind of compensates for it, because this is something where I didn't expect a 10, and we actually got it. Then next up, this is one of those cards where there's just a huge gap between a 9 and a 10. As a 9, I assume it would be hard to get much more than like $100 for this. But the 10s, because they're kind of hard to grade, they can easily be $1,000 or more. And this is the secret rare version, by the way, which is the one that actually came from the magazine. And then the ultra rare version, I believe, came from the Ultimate Edition 1, which was kind of a weird thing they did with those promos, because they have the same card code, even though they come from like completely different products. But there you go. So yeah, this one was clean. Maybe had like a couple of print dots on the back or something, but absolutely pack fresh copy, decent centering. So I was pretty hopeful we could hit the 10 on this, and that's what we got. Gem Mint 10 on this Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So again, this is a very sweet 10 just because of how that gap is so big between the 9 and the 10. Then next up we have a couple of God cards. These are the North American print ones. So the DOD for the Raw and the JMP for the Obelisk. I kind of wanted to get the Slifer to make a matching set. So I bought one just before I subbed these, but sadly it came with a crease, so it wasn't worth submitting. And I couldn't be bothered to actually hold off on the submission just to like sub a consecutive cert set. Because especially when you consider that, you know, one of them might not grade a 10 anyways, and then it doesn't end up being a consecutive cert set, even though you subbed it like that. I just thought it wasn't worth holding off. But yeah, both of these are very clean. I thought they would both get 10s, and they did both get Gem Mint 10s. Obviously, with video game promos and, you know, jump promos for the earlier ones, they're printed on OCG cardstock. So they have just that great print quality, much better than the TCG. Pretty much centering is the only thing you have to worry about if it's a pack fresh card. So it's not too surprising that these got gems because they were really clean. But yeah, still nice to see. And then we're getting pretty close to the end of the return. I think we have 4 cards left. A few Ultimate Rares next. This is one of my favorites, Monster Reincarnation from Rise of Destiny. This is one of those cards I've always been looking out for a clean copy of. Very hard to find one that doesn't have quite a bit of chipping on the top edge. This one has a tiny bit of chipping, but it's a lot less than they usually have. Doesn't have the usual waxing, or at least not as much as they normally have for Rise of Destiny. Maybe a little bit of the ulti square. But yeah, I did think this had a chance for a 10. To be honest, I would have been fine with a 9 because it's very hard to grade Rise of Destiny 10s. But we actually got a Gem Mint 10. So this one is awesome. Considering I just love the way the ulti foil pops on this card. It's really cool to have graded a 10 of it. And that's definitely one that's staying in the collection. We have one more Rise of Destiny card. This one was actually cleaner than the Monster Reincarnation. I thought this was a pretty easy 10, which is very rare to be able to say for Rise of Destiny, but this thing didn't have any real waxing, or like just very, very minor, much less than Rise of Destiny normally has. Again, like it has the stamping, but that's pretty much on every card. So considering the Monster Reincarnation got a 10, I definitely would have expected this to get the 10 as well. But we actually just got a 9. Sadly. So yeah, overall, I mean, going 1 for 2 on Rise of Destiny, I'm still happy with that. But I probably will resub this because this one is in really awesome shape for Rise of Destiny. No chipping around those edges whatsoever. Next up, this is kind of the PSA surprise for the submission. I feel like if you send more than a handful of cards to PSA, you're always going to get something that just leaves you scratching your head. So this was a BGS 9 Quad++ originally. I thought it should have been easily a 9.5 to be honest, but it didn't get a 9.5. So I cracked it, sent it to PSA. I was thinking it would get a pretty easy 10. If you guys check out the condition, like there's no whitening, nothing really going on. Really awesome copy. So yeah, my expectation was a 10, and we got an excellent to mint 6. So no idea why it got a 6. I've given it a look over so far. I can't see any kind of bend or anything like that on it. It just looks like a completely clean card. So yeah, I mean I assume the grader must have seen something to give it a 6, but I think that something was probably in their imagination from what I can tell. So there you go. It always happens. Not too mad about it because I'm just used to it at this point. It's kind of part of the parcel of sending to PSA. And yeah, this is the final card. This is a Pokemon card, kind of unusual. So the story of this is this actually was a freebie from a friend of mine. Because I told him that I really love this card, and then he just had a copy lying around from a collection he bought, and he gave it to me, which was really nice of him. I pulled this card when I was younger, probably one of the only like e-reader series packs that I ever opened. And I just remember the artwork being really distinctive. I'm not sure what happened to the copy that I pulled because I don't have it anymore. But yeah, it's one of those cards I was always thinking about trying to pick up a nice copy of, just because of the nostalgia, the memories, things like that. So yeah, once he gave it to me, it was in pretty good shape. Had a little nick on the back corner like you usually get with Wizards of the Coast stuff. But I thought it was worth a go, see if we could get a nice grade on it. Realistically, 9 or 10, either one was fine by me. And we got a mint 9, so yeah. Very happy to have that one in the collection. I don't own much Pokemon stuff at all, especially graded. I probably have like about 10 graded Pokemon slabs in my whole collection. It's just not normally my thing, but it's nice to have a few things here or there, especially the more nostalgic cards. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the PSA returns. It's the first one we've had for a decent while. This is going to be a bit of a kind of return barrage because we're going to have CGC return coming up soon. We got at least 1, possibly 2 BGS returns coming back that have been out there for ages. And I think we have more PSA returns coming back pretty soon as well. So yeah, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of new videos coming out in the next month or so, I would say. With that being said, this is Schlost signing out, and I hope you guys all have a great day.